What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, and welcome back to the channel. A little over a year ago, I did a video counting down the top 10 ongoing comic book series at that time. So I thought it would be cool to revisit that and talk about the top 10 ongoing series that are happening right now. And I do have the old list. I'm going to do a quick recap on that, see what's changed, what may have been the same, and it should be pretty fun. Before we get started though, guys, make sure to download and follow me over on Whatnot. It is easily the best comic book buying and selling app on the market right now. I just did my first live comic book auction. I did a giveaway for the boys trade dress and version of the Comic Tom GemMint exclusive, and I gave that away to the biggest spender. I also announced a 500 follower giveaway to give away this Whatnot exclusive for the Invincible #1 Tyler Kirkham variant. We hit that milestone, so next time I do a live auction, which will be next Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a drawing to give this away, and I'll announce the giveaway for the next milestone to give away the version of this. So I'll probably do that for like 750 followers. Make sure to come follow me on there, and stay tuned for more announcements, because I'll give the exact date and time of my next live auction, as well as some other fun stuff I'm going to do on there. Let's jump into the list. Make sure to hit that like, be subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, because once we hit 135,000 subscribers here, I'm going to give away this sealed copy of the all-new Wolverine Omnibus by Tom Taylor. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll give you more details on that. As promised, let's start with a recap of last year's video. I'm pretty sure this was in no particular order, and that's going to be the same with this year, but the old list, I have Batman. At the time, I want to say Joker War was in full effect, because I showed off the Punchline Art Germ variant, I believe it was. She had just been introduced. A lot of exciting things were happening with Batman. Good to see. Donny Cates' Venom made the list last year. No surprises there. That run has since ended, so you're not going to see it on this year's list, but great stuff. The whole Null stuff, the Absolute Carnage, King in Black, all of that was a great series. There's actually an omnibus coming out for that, as well as an omnibus for King in Black with all its tie-ins, so cool stuff on the horizon. Thor by Donny Cates made last year's list as well. More thoughts on that in a minute. Something is Killing the Children, no surprises there. Family Tree, that was a Jeff Lemire book, which was kind of a book that flew under the radar in my opinion. Oblivion Song by Robert Kirkman was on last year's. Ghost Rider, that didn't age well. That series got canceled. I dug it. The whole Johnny Blaze as the new Mephisto, the King of Hell. I mean, that was dope. Also, X-Men was on the list. The Jonathan Hickman run, which ended up not being as great as it started off. This was like right after Hoxpox, and this was like the flagship title. That kind of didn't age well. That got canceled and now has been since rebooted. Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky was on the list. Could have made this year's list, although it's ending this month, so I figured I'm not going to throw it on there. And then Gideon Falls, another series by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, which has since ended. I think a hardcover has even come out or is coming out, which was a great series. So most of those you will not see on this year's list, and let's just jump into it. So let's jump in with number 10, and again, no particular order, but I'm going to go Spawn. Now, I know this is Spawn Universe #1 because I just thought I would cheat and bundle up everything that's going on in the Spawn universe right now. His ongoing series, Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn. Ever since Spawn 300, Todd McFarlane has been more invested into this series than ever, more committed to growing it. It's been darker. The stakes have been higher. Todd has had more involvement with the art and the plots and the scripts, so it feels like the early 90s again. I mean, Billy Kincaid is back. Spawn's killing kids. Speaking of something that's killing the children, Spawn is what's killing them. Great series, man. I think it's a great jumping on point with Gunslinger Spawn, with King Spawn. You might be a little behind on the main ongoing, which is on issue, I want to say like 323 at the time of this recording. But Spawn, definitely one of the top 10 ongoing comic book series happening right now. Next up, we might as well talk about Something is Killing the Children, James Tynion IV. What's interesting about it is it's gotten better since it showed up on this list last year. The second wind, I think it was after issue 15, which kind of ended that first arc. It went into like a prequel. It went into like Erica Slaughter's childhood and how she got involved in the House of Slaughter, how she got involved in becoming a monster hunter. So I think that they've really found their stride with this book. The pacing is on point. They don't bog it down with too much dialogue. They put just enough dialogue with the artwork. It's gritty. It's foreboding. It makes you care about characters, even if you already know their fate. So, I mean, I think if you could do that, you're telling a great story. So definitely deserves to be on here, even more so than it did last year. Next up, we have Nightwing by Tom Taylor. This is issue 78. This is when Tom Taylor and I want to say Rendondo and Lucas picked up this arc, which was struggling, man. Nobody liked that whole Rick Grayson or whatever when Nightwing lost his memory and became a different person. This new arc has been so fun. The artwork, the environmental aspects to it, the flowing movement of Nightwing flipping through the city, reminiscent of like 80s Spider-Man stuff for me, or even 90s Spider-Man stuff. Nightwing, Dick Grayson, has inherited Bruce Wayne's billions, and he wants to put it to good use. He wants to help the homeless. He is doing some social things in here, but I think it really works, and it makes sense for the character. They have this homeless man that's killing homeless people. That's kind of been put on the back burner for a few issues. I'm interested to see them jump back into that and see who that character is and what's going on. But it's a run that has a lot of heart with great artwork and just an interesting story. Next up, we got Firepower. This was the newest one by Robert Kirkman. He was joined by Chris Samney, or is joined by Chris Samney here. Issue 17, and I think this is the most recent issue. They've been cranking them out, man. It's a breakneck speed, fast-paced, kung fu-inspired type of story. This guy, Owen, he trains. He ends up learning that he has the firepower. He's able to shoot fireballs like straight Street Fighter 2 style. He brought his training back home with him and is now getting his family kind of involved. He has a wife and kids. His past is coming back to haunt him. Like I said, it's at a breakneck speed, great fight scenes, great visuals, great artwork and coloring here, and definitely a fun series from Robert Kirkman right now. All right, guys, now on to DC. I believe Black Label. This is, The Nice House on the Lake by James Tynion IV. This is an amazing series. Now, I don't know if this is ongoing. I know that it's going on hiatus after the next issue at the time that I'm recording this. What a great series. It feels like an indie book. It feels like it's something Image would publish, but hey, DC got a hold of it. Basically, these group of friends that are loosely connected, they all have a mutual friend who kind of would act a little weird throughout knowing them their entire lives, and eventually invites them to this nice house on the lake. They all get in there, and then boom, they find out that the apocalypse happens outside. Essentially, everyone they know and loved has killed, seemingly of supernatural or extraterrestrial origins, like they're melting even though they don't feel it, everything's burning, but they're safe in this nice house on the lake. They have everything they could want. They can write down a list and slide it into the slot, and then tomorrow it'll be automatically delivered. So this person is basically taking care of them, almost like, is he an alien? Is he some type of supernatural specter? He's kind of picking and choosing his favorite people on the planet and saving them and letting them live out their lives, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. It's a great story. It's interesting. And something that we haven't really seen before. All right, guys, let's move on to Berserker. This is by Keanu Reeves on Boom Studios. What an amazing and fun run this has been so far. It's about this guy. It's a Wolverine mixed with Keanu Reeves type of character who's essentially been alive for 80,000 years and has all these powers. He basically is like a Wolverine type of character, but it really delves a lot with his lineage and going back to when he was first created. Was it a gift from the gods that his parents prayed for? Was it something extraterrestrial here as well? In the modern day, he's speaking with a therapist trying to figure out how he was made, how he was created, and I just love all the flashbacks and callbacks to his life over the centuries and all the wars and battles that he's fought. Great dialogue. It's gory and bloody and violent, but it also has a lot of heart, and it deals with real emotions on what somebody like this would go through, and them trying to even remember everything after 80,000 years. All right, the next ones I'm reading digitally, so I kind of tricked you with the thumbnail. Moving on, Thor is still on the list, although not as strong as I think the first arc, because the first stuff, when he first becomes Odin and has Galactus, or he becomes the Herald of Galactus and the Black Winter, all that stuff was big and epic in scope. But you've had a lot of great arcs since then. I mean, most recently we have the return of Throg, which is amazing, and these issues with Thor and Mjolnir and it being too heavy for him and him not being able to hold it. And then we have this kind of like foreboding glimpse of the future of Thanos wielding Mjolnir with the Infinity Stones in there, seemingly the end of the world or whatever. And Donny Cates confirming that that's still going to come back and that's still going to be a thing. We've yet to get there, but I've still had fun with this arc. I love Donny Cates' writing and storytelling. Thor is like my favorite superhero book that's on the market right now. Next up, I'm going to go with Detective Comics. I've been digging Detective Comics probably more so than the main Batman ongoing title. We've had great storytelling here. We've had this arc with these kids that were being abducted and killed in Gotham, and Bruce Wayne gets implicated, and Batman gets implicated by one of the most powerful figures and founding families of Gotham. That was an interesting story arc. Then we get into this vile character, this guy who's got like, this insect-like syndrome inside of him that's controlling him, and he's able to spread it and lay eggs that have little white little creatures that are able to attack you. It's had great artwork. It's had great narration and writing. I've really been digging the direction of Detective Comics. The next one up, the last one from Marvel Comics, it's Alien by Philip Kennedy Johnson. I've been loving each issue. It's on the second arc. I dug the first arc. It was like a self-contained type of story of this guy, way in the future, of course, like with most of these movies, that was part of a mission that had the alien, and he knew the Weyland Corporation was just trying to get that specimen. His kid gets involved as part of some type of radical like freedom fighter or something like that, and he ends up on a ship where the father has to save him, and just alien antics ensue. Like the same type of forebodingness and suspense that gets built up in the Alien movies, we get that here. The second arc takes place on a planet that humans have terraformed. They've like established that they are, I guess, the owners. They have the rights to the planet. They have a religious aspect to them, but Weyland Corporation does their thing again, sends a ship that supposedly has cargo and goods, but also has xenomorphs. So you can imagine how that's playing out. I just love the tone and pacing of this book. It's one of my favorites every week it comes out. And the last one for the top 10 ongoing comic book series from Image Comics, also from James Tynion IV, we have The Department of Truth. What an interesting story that this man is telling here. It deals with conspiracy theories, and what if basically every conspiracy theory was real? If enough people believed it, it can manifest itself, and they have to really control the narrative of certain situations because it can get out of hand. If too many people start thinking that the earth is flat, the earth will really become flat, and then there could be repercussions from that. So it's kind of a lot of behind the curtain stuff of conspiracies and of the government knowing about it and playing with it to fit, I don't know, the best for all mankind or what have you. It's been really interesting with kind of like a really gritty art style. Sometimes you're reading pages of journals of a guy who's hunting down Sasquatch. It's just really abstract at times, but the storytelling is really intriguing. All right, guys, so that's my top 10 ongoing comic book series that's out right now. Forgive me if one or two of these are not ongoing and have an ending soon. I don't always know that far ahead. I think Berserker might be ending soon. Anyway, it deserved to be on the list. And I really wanted to make this list because I see a lot of people in my comments, really bashing on the big two, that nobody makes good comic books anymore. And although I agree, sometimes they make some really cringe comics, there are always still great comics out there to read. So hopefully you guys check these out and see for yourself. Let me know what your favorite comic book ongoing series are in the comments down below. Like I said, we're doing a giveaway once we hit 135,000 subscribers. We're giving away this sealed all-new Wolverine Omnibus, and that's all you got to do. Be subscribed, leave a like, leave a comment. Once we reach the milestone, we'll go live, pick a random video where I promoted the giveaway, and use a random YouTube comment generator to draw a worldwide winner. Also, like I said, make sure to follow me on Whatnot. My next live auction on there is actually Wednesday, November 24th, and it should be at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, kicking off the Whatnot Wednesday, which has Comic Tom, Nerdy Girl Comics, Skeleton Key, Mill Geek, Golden Age Guru, Rage Theo. Am I missing anyone? It's like 8 hours of live auctions. It might be 10 by the time we get there, but I'm setting it off. We had a blast last time. I think we had like 120 people watching, and I have some great stuff coming up. Some themed auctions, all omnibus and hardcovers, all single issues, all Funkos. So make sure to download and follow me on there. And I appreciate you watching. Don't go anywhere. I got a ton of other great videos for you guys to watch, so check those out and stay minty fresh. Peace.